find out who has the baddest truck out there. And now what we've just basically are designing with the Mega Truck series is who's got the baddest, most durable, badass mega truck. And then you go through all this whole different series of events that we carry through Saskatchewan, Alberta, and be collecting points. Right now we do have 6 events, and these 6 events, there's inside that one event, there'll be 3 or 4 courses in each course. So it'll be like a 2-minute track for mega trucks to race on. Then there's a hill and hole, and then they're building a bounty hole, and then they have a tug pad. So there's 4 events.
Warning. The 4x4 Canada podcast contains discussion about exploring mountains, camping beside lakes, and enjoying the outdoors. Guests also talk about jumping race trucks side by side, racing 1,000 horsepower rigs across mud pits, and jumping monster trucks over stacks of buses. None of this is for the faint of heart. The 4x4 Canada podcast is not responsible for bringing out your inner adrenaline junkie or making you want to get out there and explore the back roads from coast to coast. The 4x4 Canada podcast is not responsible for broken parts due to jumping your vehicle, hitting mud poles too hard, crossing deep streams, and doing other dumb shit. However, we will take credit for inspiring you to explore mountaintops, spend quality time outdoors with your friends, or meeting new like-minded people, and most importantly of all, following your dreams. Welcome to the 4x4 Canada podcast. My name is Wes. I'm your host tonight. We are missing Trisha. She is at work, unfortunately. I know she's really excited about this interview today with Kyle and Dustin from the Axlebusters, Mega Truck Racing. And welcome to the podcast, guys.
Yes, sir. How you doing? Glad to be here.
Good. Happy to have you guys on. Like I say, Trisha, my co-host, she's a bit of a speed freak, and she's really upset about missing this tonight because she loves horsepower and speed. But, unfortunately, work comes in play sometimes. I just want to give a real quick shout out to check out last week's interview. If you haven't heard it yet, we interviewed the guys from Trillium Off-Road Recovery in Ontario. They're a volunteer organization, and they go out and do all kinds of recoveries all over Ontario, everything from quads and snowmobiles into the lakes and right up to the 4x4s and tractors and such like that. So that was a really fun interview with the guys, a couple of guys from Trillium Off-Road. Next week, we've got a totally opposite end of the spectrum from you guys. We have Jason from Canadian Battle Wagon on Instagram, and he is a Subaru Overlander. Totally opposite of you guys.
You know what's cool? I don't, it doesn't matter what you're into. That's what I love about off-roading is it could be any side of the spectrum. Sure, we're high horsepower, big jumps, monster truck stuff, but overlanding and camping out in the backcountry, love it. That's where we started. Every bit of it is still fun. It's roading, still the same people. I feel like it's the same mentality that we all have. Love it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the neat things about the podcast is 1 week we'll have guys running monster trucks, and then the next week we got a Subaru Overlander, and then the next week we'll have an off-road racer, or we'll have a YouTube guy on. And so we've been really trying to mix it up. We've been having a lot of ladies join as well too. So ladies, if you are listening to the podcast, feel free to shoot us a DM on Instagram or off the website, because I know Trisha and I have been working to have a lot more ladies on the podcast, because a lot more ladies becoming involved in the off-road world, or the four-wheel drive world these days. Yeah, definitely noticed over the last 5 years, 10 years anyway.
I think some of the baddest drivers we know right now in the Canadian, Leanna, Davies, Krista, that's her sister. They all got mega trucks.
Hey, you guys had the Davies on there. I listened to that podcast. And again,
yeah, we had Dave and Leanna back in November of 22. And it's just, they're a true mega truck family. Like you mentioned, her sister's in it, her husband's in it, and they're a true hardcore family for sure. And I know they've come out and raced with you guys a few times as well.
Sir.
Too, right?
FRCC, they've come out, and we have some of our events that are coinciding with what they're into, but we've all met up at FRCC in Saskatchewan. And what a blast. Again, they're just such a great family. You know what I mean? And the family aspect of the family feel from all of us is just, we're all good people in this field of racing. And so I love it.
coolest group of people they're ever going to meet are at events. Yeah. And the friendship that carries out from events to events, and the family, and even the kids can't wait to go to events because they got friends with the other families with their own other kids. Yeah. And you might not get to see them all year until that one weekend, and it's awesome. Everything's great. Yeah.
That's so neat to hear, because I actually grew up in the off-road racing as a kid in the 70s and the 80s. And it's the same thing. We'd be so happy to go hang out with our racing friends at the various tracks around, and glad to see that family outlook is kept on throughout the years, because it doesn't in everything, right? You take a look at some of the circle track racing and it doesn't always carry on through.
Yeah.
So
it's maybe as the competition get a little bit higher, is that what happens? Or
yeah, I think so. Yeah. So once again, we're talking to Kyle Walton and Dustin Stacey, and these are some Alberta boys with the Axlebusters 4x4 Club. And you guys are into, I guess, what I'm going to call mega truck racing. Is that the correct way?
Various forms, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But mega truck racing, that's a very good way. We're calling all our trucks mega trucks. It's just some are buggies, some are truggies, we're all mega trucks. It just makes more sense to that's where some are more like Dustin's basically got a monster truck. It's just different size of tires, right? Built the same way. But mega truck racing, and that's where we're put.
So for the listeners that don't really know what a mega truck is, and you mentioned there's a wide variety in the Western Canada, but what is the basic concept behind mega trucks and mega truck racing?
Years ago, it was 2.5 tons and AG tires, tractor tires and up, and it just snowballed from that. You even got 1-ton trucks now on tractor tires that they're calling mega trucks. So I think as long as you're 4-linked coilovers or nitrogen shocks and you've got tractor tires and truck's pretty fast, you call it a mega truck. But me personally, I know it's a touchy subject for some. I think it's got to resemble a truck. So you got guys coming out with tube chassis, which is great. But you put them up against a full body truck, and that truck might hold back a little bit because you don't want to wreck in the corner. So at the end of the day, it's run what you brung and run it or go home. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. Really, like in Canada, where everything, it doesn't matter what you bring to these events, because it's not like the US. We don't have the per capita people in racing. We don't have a bunch of different classes. We're just starting this a mega truck racing series, and we're just trying to pushing more racing and pushing. It's just, we're striving for something, and it's nice to have a goal, and going to each event and racing those events is super cool. But again, with a series, it's just something to push for. And so we're doing this point system anyway, but the mega trucks is definitely right behind us. Dustin just built this for his wife. It's technically not a mega truck, but you could still mega truck race this. Doesn't matter.
It formed, I'm thinking, and correct me if I'm wrong, but back in the early 2000s when there was like the White Knight and stuff like that out of Calgary, and then there's some of the tough truck competitions up outside of Edmonton and that. I remember going to some of those when I was living in Alberta, and I see a lot of it's more from that into more of the speed events with what you guys got going on, right?
Yes, sir. So, that's the things. We still do the obstacle course races, the stuff that, like the Safari Park stuff in the Tail Creek. And that's where I started racing was in Tail Creek, and Safari Park was even pre that. But that's the kind of the evolution of the mega trucks started coming from. There were these buggies, or these basically full-size trucks on leaf springs. We're just going out, and like the Dave Greens, and they started building. With Top Truck Challenge in California was like the height of everything. And then when that Top Truck Challenge was canceled in 2015, a place called Mountain Mafia Entertainment took over the game and took over that. Clay Kratz, that had the White Knight, he came up with this it was Hardgrass Havoc in Brooks, Alberta. That he started the first Mountain Havoc series, or as well as Hardgrass Havoc, and then they took it to the US in Idaho. And then that's where this is the obstacle course, the toughest, mimicking that was the Top Truck Challenge back in the day in California, was to mimic the best truck. And again, leading into our mega truck series, I'll get into that. But this was basically who has the best wheeler, the best off-road truck. So you put them through all these different tests to find out who has the baddest truck out there. And now what we've just basically are designing with the mega truck series is who's got the baddest, most durable, badass mega truck. And then you go through all this whole different series of events that we carry through Saskatchewan, Alberta, and be collecting points.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. Yeah. So let's hop into into the new series that is coming out. It is what, 6 races, 8 races?
We're collecting more as we go, but right now, because it's getting headway. We just started this. We just put it out on the internet about a month ago and got great feedback. Yeah. And obviously the point system, the money, we're going to give $10,000 away it's 100% payout is what it is. There's an entry fee to come in for these trucks. And again, obviously, as we grow through the years, what we'd like to do is not have this big membership fee, but right now it's the membership fee. And then we'll try to get sponsors in and all this sort of stuff. But we're at the beginning of this. It's basically the starting of this series. Yeah.
Pilot.
Exactly. So what we're doing is that membership fee, you come in 100% payout, and then you go ahead and we'll have, say, 6 events. Right now we do have 6 events, and these 6 events, there's inside that one event, there'll be 3 or 4 courses in each course. So the first one, we're going to be going to Lake Rimbey, Alberta. It's a central,
great small park.
Yeah. What's the actual name?
It's not a park. It's
Central Alberta
Raceway there. We always call it just Rimbey.
Yeah.
Right.
It's home every time. It's
the Darlings help, and Tanner is the guys that run it, and they're such great people that I've been running. That you're usually doing mud box, but they're really veering towards the mega truck racing, and it's
all that.
Yeah. So they built it. That's right. They built a tug pad there. Oh, they're going to build a tug pad. Sorry. They did build a tug pad. Yes. And then so that race, we'll just pick that one as an example. So we go to Central Raceways. That's July 6th and 7th that we're going to be going there. They have a mega truck rate, like a MX track. So it'll be like a 2-minute track for mega trucks to race on. Then there's a hill and hole. And then they're building a bounty hole. And then they have a tug pad. So there's 4 courses. 4 courses, a lot of fuel. Yeah. So the way the point system is going to work basically is it's a point system from, if you get first place, it's 99 points. If you get second place, it's 89 points, and so forth. So you get first, second, third, but there's 4 events that you could gain points from. So the more events you go to, again, the durability, the most badass truck that we're looking for in Western Canada. So some guys will just do the bounty hole or just do the tug pad and not do all these events. Now, if you want the points and you want to maximize your points, you're going to have to hit all the events and hit all of the courses, and you have the best chance of winning the $10,000, pay. What'd you get? It could be 15,000. Who knows? Again, the more trucks we have, they're higher.
When it gets traction, I'm telling you, this year might what everyone's expecting, but next year, look out.
What I've found with racing, putting on events, is the first year goes well and everybody's okay. I just wanted to see how it went. And then they all come out the following year. Why not come out the first year and help support it, and make it work? Got an idea. But I think once it gains some traction, it'll open right up.
The cool thing about this event, especially for us with Kill, because it takes a lot to run that truck for even 2 minutes, is it's going to take certain trucks outside of their comfort zone if you want the points.
Yeah.
Yep. Some guys have a bounty old truck, and some guys don't have a tug pad truck. But if you want them points, man, they're going to run.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe you did mention a few different style events, and if you can maybe explain to our listeners what those different styles, like what a hill and hole is, or a tug pad and stuff like that. Like I know, but some of our listeners may not realize what these events are. They just see something on YouTube and think, hey, that's cool, but they don't realize what a hill and hole is or a big.
So traditionally, you got your mud bogs. It's usually 2 lanes. They leave on yellow, not green, because if you leave on green, you're going to lose, right? So you leave. But the same principle, we put jumps in these lanes. So a truck comes out of the hole off the big jump and splash into the water. Then he gets traction. He's hook into the next jump. So it's just straight line drag, usually 2 trucks in each lane, some jumps. It's super entertaining, right? And it's not easy to go straight, but less chances of wrecking if you're just going straight. But it's an awesome little event for a lot of people. Yeah. And then tug pad, obviously, it's as it sounds, right? You hook up two trucks to each other and pull on each other till one breaks or one quits, right?
So on a concrete pad, it's a big concrete pad, and everybody can Google that, tug pad on the internet, but you basically have a concrete pad and you hook two trucks up with a tow rope, and you tug on each other until somebody pulls somebody over a line or they tell you to stop. So
usually whoever's the heaviest,
there's a technique there.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. The heavier rigs
so you don't want to be on the converter for too long.
And then I guess we'd have a bounty hole. What a bounty hole is basically a big, huge mud hole dug in the ground. And you try to make it as far as you can. Most of these are impassable and you can't get, so the mud's so deep and it's 4, 5, 6 feet deep, whatever it may be. And you just try to make, basically either have as much horsepower or more ground clearance as you can. And you try to go as far as you can. And then obviously the person that makes it the farthest is the winner of that event. So yeah,
it's
right.
A lot of down the States, it became a fad and a lot of people had a hard time with it. Is somebody will bring a super light truck, 3,500 pounds, pile of horsepower, and they'll just skim across the top.
Yeah.
And you got these big trucks on 70-inch tires, 35.5s, $100,000 truck, diesel truck to chew through it. And obviously they don't make it across as fast, right?
Yeah.
So depends where you go. Sometimes they say no skimmers. I'm not sure if we're going to have a rule like that or not.
Again, we're in Canada. There's not enough trucks.
Let it go.
And that's where we're starting again with the start of this series. There's no point in having different classes because we don't have enough trucks. And again, next year, if we have a huge influx of people coming in and that's the whole point of this. And we've had a lot of friends of ours wanting to build trucks and upgrading their trucks because we've obviously just talked to our really close friends about this before putting it on the internet, before putting it out into public. And they're already buying bigger engines because, I want in on. They're already buying blower motors. They're already lightening their truck up. And this truck right behind us for Dustin's wife, Alana, he was like, oh, it's just going to have it all nice inside. He stripped all the seats. He stripped all the interior, lighten it up because, you know what I mean? Now it could be a race rig. You know what I mean? Anyway, it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's neat that you guys are doing it for a bunch of different style of events. Because there is some trucks are naturally built better to handle certain tracks or certain obstacles. There's light and fast trucks, and then there's some trucks are better in some of those slower, aka obstacle style races or whatever. This will be a good, what is the best all around?
Yeah, endurance is huge. Endurance is huge. You can have a truck making 2,000 horsepower. Is it going to make every event?
Yeah,
probably not. But a guy that's consistent makes every event. You might not get first in every event, but on the long run, might be a Ford guy. I don't know.
Yeah,
I doubt a Ford will win it, but still, regardless.
I was thinking it, but said it. We're talking the same language. People daydreaming out.
Yeah, that's the whole point of this series, and it's not being inclusive to one city because again, Dustin has a really good freestyle truck. That's what he really built this truck. Again, he originally built Kill to do a backflip. That's what he really wanted to do, a freestyle truck. Again, but we do the obstacles in Extreme Mudfest in Cold Lake. We have an obstacle course there. But he can't make a 2-minute run. He can't run the truck for that long. He'll have to rebuild his engine by the time it's done twice. So again, obviously he's not going to do very well in the obstacle course, but there's a lot of other guys like my truck is veered towards that. That's what I built it for, but I'm not as fast as him. But it's a points today. Again, the tug pad and then his durability, right? He has a methanol engine, obviously is not as durable, but he can run it and he's very smart with the way he runs it. And again, it's not just us. There's so many other people out there that built their trucks for certain things, but now the series, we're calling it the Western Canada Mega Truck Series, but it's going to be Ironman. So we can change it and do whatever we want with it. But right now with this series this year, it's going to be the Ironman. So for the toughest, most durable, badass truck in Western Canada. That's what we're looking for.
Yep.
So
it could be somebody you never even heard of come and win all this just because it's consistent.
I've seen it throughout the years of racing where a person's been sitting in second, third, fourth finishes all through the year. And they come through and they wrap up the championship because they're finishing every single event. But they never won an event, but they finished every single one.
Another event that we go to is in Saskatchewan, Alberta and Saskatchewan's Filthy Redneck Country Club. There's a J-Hook racing where J-Hook is a lot of fun. So basically there was a TV show, Trucks Gone Wild, had a TV show called Dirty Motor Truckers. It was pretty popular in the US for a few years. And we're the same style of track. So you just drive straight. What a J-hook track is, it's like its name, it's shaped like a J. But so you go off, you both start at the start line and you take off and you veer out like a heart though, right? So you veer away from each other, hit a little tiny kick or jump, and then you do 180 degrees and a big looping turn back, and then almost come. And the last couple of years, we've had a lot of contact where guys run into each other, not trying to, it just happens or racing or whatever. And then you come real close to each other, and then you hit this big tabletop jump and then go across this. We've had some pretty big wrecks and stuff throughout the years, but that's the J-hook is a lot of fun. And so guys will just want to race J-hook. But again, with the point system, now the next after that is the bounty hole. Now, some people, and I haven't in previous years, have gone because now you're soaking your engine. And again, durability, you have to waterproof everything. You have to go to the bounty hole again. And that's for the listeners. That's that big 6-foot hole filled with mud and water, and you're burying your truck in the mud. And now, do you want to do that? Do you want to maybe suck in water in your intake, or do you take that chance? Or your truck's completely soaked now, right? And you got to clean mud out. And then the next event is you're going to the freestyle arena. Now, a lot of people aren't built for freestyle, right? Or Dustin is, but a lot of people try, and a lot of people go out there. And is it going to last after? So
it's always a risk.
Yeah.
You run bounty hole and wreck, and then can't go do freestyle.
Yeah.
Or do you go do J-hook, wreck, brake, transmission, anything?
Yeah.
Then you're out for freestyle, or vice versa. So it's a pick and choose thing. But with this Ironman series, if you want to bring it out on the long run, you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
You're a victim.
Yeah.
That's right.
Transmission, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Call all your friends. Hey, I need you.
We need parts.
Yeah. I've been lots of times going around at 2:00 in the morning or the next town over to try and find parts and stuff like that. But take a look at yours, Dustin. You're more of a freestyle build versus Kyle's. Yeah, you may not last on some of the stuff that you're. So it's a real pick and choose, right? So
we got to change the oil. We got to go through everything every time. Valve lash every day. It's just that's the upkeep of that kind of engine. Where Kyle can do that stuff once a month.
Yeah.
And not have the wear and tear like we do.
I'm still running pump gas. Like I got a 540 big block, like a dart block, a 540 Chevy big block with a Pro Charger, and I'm running some high horsepower in it, but it's still pump gas. And I did that on purpose because I like the snow wheel with Kelowna snow wheelers going out to wheel for 8 hours up in the mountains. That's what I want to do. And I'm not doing that on C16 at $100 a barrel.
right.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm not going to make it. That's again, my versatility that I wanted from this truck. That's what I wanted it from. And that, again, going back to why we did this for the series, because of course, Dustin, it's hard to get somebody to come into a series. And then the first thing they say, I'm not going to beat Dustin. Well, but you're a better bounty truck. You're a better tug pad truck.
Definitely.
You can outlast durability of a Chevy big block to a blown Chevy, like a methanol truck, that there's basically an hour runtime on a blown Chevy big block with his is. You have to rebuild the whole engine. I can run mine for years before I need to rebuild it, right? I can have 24 hours of actual runtime on my truck before I need to do anything major.
It's interesting bringing down all these different styles of vehicles together. And it's going to be really interesting to see who comes out at the top at the end of the year.
I think what it comes to is this term mega truck. It comes down to is the term mega truck. If you're going to call yourself a mega truck, you should be racing in this series. Yeah. Because you should be able to do everything. And guys like me, there's certain events going to take me out of my comfort zone. But we have to get in there and get dirty and do what everyone else does. See how long you last for.
Dirt, mud,
mud. 10 hours of washing after. Unless you've done it, it's getting dark. All your friends are having fun and you're sitting there going, no, I just pay people to wash my truck. Sometimes there's a little fan there, and they'll jump in there and wash it for a couple hours. Come back and they got paint stripped off. That's just
my dad said that's why he had kids wash the mud off and open up the gates and pull the winch lines out. I want to give a shout out to Darian from Piss and Broken. We had him on last February, and he hit a couple of your guys' events. So actually almost about a year ago, we had him on. And I know that he hit the Extreme Mudfest up in Northern Alberta, and he hit another event just south of Calgary. So if our listeners are wondering to see what videos of what these guys are doing. Piston Broke on YouTube, PISTN Broke on YouTube. Got some great videos. And I know there's another company that does a lot of video work, but more down in Idaho.
So Ibex,
isn't it?
off-road videos. Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah. And that's
correct,
IBEX, right?
Yeah. He does
That's
great.
right, yeah.
And photographer wise, Kyle for Secret Life Photography, and Cindy Milton Dyke is CMD Films is another one that she's again. The media that we have and the people that follow up, we can't thank them enough for doing this, because they're the ones that make us look so good. Because we could go do all this sort of stuff, but Derek, he's got the drones and stuff. It's Ibex, same thing. It's definitely much appreciated for anybody that comes out and helps us in films.
And I didn't say it earlier, but I probably should have, that the Axlebusters, the best way to follow along with this, everything that's happening in Western Canada, is through the Axlebusters book group. That's probably the best bet, right? And you guys have got your own Instagrams as well, which I did not write down for some unknown reason. But but I'll put those in the show notes, or if you guys want to let us know what those are, and I'll put those in the show notes as well too.
So go ahead. Your Instagram?
Oh, mine? My Instagram's just kill_megatruck. Yeah. Simple.
Yeah.
You get across.
That's right.
And everything else is just my name, Dustin Stacey.
Yeah. And then obviously at Axlebusters. And Instagram, it'll be at Axlebusters. And then on Facebook, we got a few, like I said, the Axlebusters Racing Team business page. And then for club wise, again, we'll put everything Axlebusters Off Roaders Club. And then we have the off-road and racing parts, which is the contest giveaway.
Yeah. The club page is pretty awesome. There's always good information. People telling stuff. Hey, I'm looking for this. And next there's 200 comments. And how many people are in that club now?
10 page, almost 10,000.
10,000?
Yeah. Yeah. We've been growing it.
It's doing good.
Yeah. We've been growing it since 2000. I guess it was 2012 or something. I actually started the page. It was a little bit before that where we started Axlebusters, but it's been a while. It's been a fun ride. For sure.
It's definitely the best source, I think, for information for this kind of events in Western Canada.
Good
for sure.
To hear.
So,
we've been working hard on it, and it's not just not one person. The whole thing with Axlebusters, it's a group effort. It's never just been one person. You can't do this, and you can't have a club like this.
Can't do it alone.
And it's so all of us working together to push up, to have the same goal is the only reason that Axlebusters is the size it is. It's all the core people.
Before I really knew Kyle, the cool thing is you go to an Axlebusters event, as you would call it, you look around, everybody's wearing Axlebusters sweaters and t-shirts. Talk about it being a club or a family. You want to buy a sweater.
Yeah.
And next time you're part of this group and they're lifetime friends, right? And it's wild. It's just a lot of just go ask and hear. Right?
Yeah.
It's awesome, man. It really is.
Yeah.
So hopping back to the series, you guys are starting off in Rimbey, and then you guys, you've obviously got the Extreme Mud Fest up in northern Alberta there. And I've been talking
the first actual event, we just use Rimbey as a reference. The actual first is the Peace Country Off-Road Racing. It's in Wembury. Yeah.
And that's a new one.
It's been going for a few years, but we just Matt Watson is a huge help, and he's helping me with the series. One of the coolest dudes man, his truck, his Defiance is his truck, and
he'll drive that into the ground just for a smile.
Yeah. He's the one guy again that is out for freestyle and just doesn't care about his truck, to just put on a show for people. One of the greatest guys. That there's a few people that are helping me. There's 4 of us that are helping me with the series, and Matt Livernosh is another one. He has the Twisted Liver truck, and then Tyson Cassavan, he's got a buggy kind of like mine or whatever. But those guys, again, there's such good advocates for this. And then again, because we can't do this all alone. So having the right people, and again, Dustin's been a huge help with me with Axlebusters since we just basically stepbrothers became best friends as soon as we met. You know what I mean? So it's just the evolution. It's just only get.
So you guys as the pretty boys out front, but there's a whole team behind you that are doing it, right?
That's it.
I know it. in order to do anything, any event, just an event, never mind a whole series of events, but just an event, it takes a true team to do it. And you have to remind everybody that these guys are all volunteers.
Busters isn't running. We can't take any credit for the events besides Mudfest. Has Axlebusters.
Yeah.
There's going to be, and so there's Mudfest in Coal Lake, and now there's going to be Mudfest in Dawson Creek now. But we can't take a bunch of credit for that. We can take credit for building the courses and for the help there. But in the logistics on the background side of things, there's so many people that I cannot even come close to be taking any credit for any of that. It's good to be part of the team of Extreme Mudfest. And then places like Rimby that we have nothing to do with that event at all. We're just happy to bring trucks there.
That's right.
And for them, I'm happy. I again talked with Kat and about letting us come there with the series, and you couldn't be happier. Again, of course, because we're going to be bringing more trucks and it make a better event. And it's a win-win for everybody. That right sort of thing. And Alberta and Saskatchewan
for sure,
doing that sort of thing and going to his race in Saskatchewan, which is an event that we'll always go to. And then Matt Watson, again, like I said, in Wembley with the Peace Country off-road racing, they were more than happy to have us come. And we went there a few years back.
Great event.
2020, I think we were down there. Yeah.
They don't miss it.
Very well run.
Yeah. Beautiful.
It's a bit of a job.
Yeah. That's one of Yeah. It's worth taking that long drive and going to some of these events if it's a good event, right? So yeah. And you guys are coming to 100 Mile House this year too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's on.
Maybe
it's on the, well,
we'll see.
Depending on dates. We're just, again, the Dawson Creek thing isn't written in stone yet. And we're just playing with dates. So again, I'm not a part of the one picking the date. So we just have to wait for that. And then if not, 100% would be coming our dot. But that's the thing. The 100 Mile House will still be a part of the series, regardless if our dates are coinciding. So we talk, because they want to be a part of the series too, talking with the Davies, of course, because they have some of the biggest trucks around.
Yep.
So we're going to that's another one, the Chilliwack, the Northwest Mud Racing Association. They're going to be a part of that. And that's going to be in August 17th and 18th. And that's the same weekend as Extreme Mudfest. Again, it's nice to have this variety. So the people in BC and then again are involved with that association. Obviously you're going to go to that event and it's closer for them, but they'll still be able to get points to win. So then that's what we're trying to do too. Again, same thing with Jevin and Joel and Felony from Kelowna, BC. They have that Thunder Mountain. They're just starting out, but in 2025, of course, they're going to be a part of this series and they'll have a course there. They're just not established yet.
Yep. So that's going to be an interesting, I know they've been working on Thunder Mountain Raceway outside of Kelowna for a number of years now. So I'm really glad to see they're starting to get some momentum going with it. It's the same thing with the Davies. They've been fighting with permits and land use and all that other stuff for a number of years. And I'm sure that Thunder Mountain's along the same way. And you got insurance, and it's not as easy as just saying, hang and put on an event. But you got to work with your neighbors. You got to work with your township, all that red tape. And then insurance. Don't even get me started on insurance prices.
Sometimes it's not the community. The community is the one that loves it and wants it. But again, it's the mentality, right? You can't, it's the red tape sort of thing. And then again, that's why you see a lot of these races in the States. They're like 50, 60, 80 miles away from any town in the middle of a swamp. And that's the best place to have these massive Trucks Gone Wild events sort of things.
It's definitely going to be an exciting year. I'm going to try and make it up to Extreme Mudfest. It all depends on what I can do for weekends off and stuff like that, because it's a long haul for me. But the 100 mile is definitely another option as well for me, because that's only a couple hours away. So hopefully we can make it out there. And I'd love to go to some of these events and do some live interviews with some of the people and that too, right? So throw some GoPros in the truck.
We're into the Insta360. So. It's got two cameras, right? So it's got a camera in the front that does 180 and then a camera on the rear that does 180. So you could have it rear, and then you can edit it in the app. You can edit it from so you just wrap it around and then do the front facing camera, and then have something else that's cool and you want to show what's going on inside the cab. It's pretty neat.
Everyone's going to realize about 80% of the
that's
time.
Cool.
Eyes closed.
Yeah. Dustin did his backflip for the double last year.
Let's talk about that, actually. That I've been wanting to talk about all night. So, Dustin, you've got the Kill Mega Truck. It's Wheelie's pickup with quotation marks. But it's basically a full-blown monster truck, right?
you're going to get basically.
Almost.
It's having the 20-ton outers.
Yeah.
And we were almost there actually. We got some 66s up at the shop. It's just finding the right deal, the right time now. And we might cross that road in a bit. Who knows? But it's just too fun not to.
So what we were talking about, just for our listeners, out at the track in Saskatchewan, the Redneck track. Yeah. They had a C-can that was lined up with a nice little approach. So somebody could do a backflip off that, like you see with the monster truck shows and that. And our friend Dustin here, he comes up to it, does his full backflip, and it looks like he had a bit of a bounce to it, and then you hit it again and up off another backflip without using the C-can to get you back up and over.
Yeah.
What the hell?
In the heat of the moment, I'll come out on record and say it. Everyone said double backflip, but technically for the people that are technical, it's consecutive backflips.
Potatoes.
Yeah, it wasn't tomatoes. I didn't think I was coming around all the way, so I just stayed on the throttle. Because you can hear the second throttle whack, and we just ended up bouncing again, and it was a mega truck first. Yeah, so it's pretty fortunate. I was just happy to make it around once. Yeah, or not have the truck piled up.
To our listeners, you got to just go Google kill mega truck backflip, and you'll see it. It's pretty awesome. Don't go to watch the one of Kyle videoing it. I think it was you that was videoing it, wasn't it, Kyle? Yeah. Where he does a backflip, and then you got so excited, all I see is ground from the camera.
I'm usually really good with that sort of stuff. But I just was so blown away that I just, my phone dropped, like my jaw. I'm like, did he just go twice? Do you know what I mean? I was standing literally like 20 feet away from his truck. I never said, no, closer. Yeah. So, but a lot of fun. I love it. Yeah.
I had a good chuckle over that.
I shouldn't even posted that, but I just think that because every
you got it. You have to, right?
No, Al, he does a great job. Like whatever you want, if you ask, changes, wishes, dreams, ambitions, he'll make it happen.
He's the one. So if we're talking about the mega truck start in Canada, he was a huge innovator for giving us a place to go. I would say Arnon and Josh Darling were saying that these guys were the guys that started it and going to mud bogs and doing some big jumps and showcasing it. But Al Benesaki gave us a freestyle, like a legit, the baddest one of the country. And like literally North America, if not anywhere. Because besides Monster Jam, the amount of money that she has put into that again, we've had guys, some freestyle champions in the US come down here and see this park, and it doesn't compare to anything in the US. So it's, again, because it's what he loved the most, and he veered towards that style of doing them back. And what it pushed us, the mega truck people building mega trucks in Canada, is just set to another level, like the Davies. Again, why they to build up trucks to that caliber and get those trucks. Why Dustin, he built Kill literally for that backflip, because he wanted to be the first guy, and they've done it in the States, but he wanted to be the first Canadian, and he did it. He finally landed it. It took him 3 years,
but the wrecks show so much better than a nice wreck will show way better than a clean flip. I tell you, right? Yeah. So don't be scared of your junk.
Yeah.
It's better in the long run, I promise. Yeah. The guy that goes out there and lays it all out there is way better.
Yeah.
No one knows.
Yeah. I've done lots of jumps over the years through off-road racing, like the desert racing and short course racing. So I've done lots of jumps, and I've been involved with the monster truck world in Ontario, but I've never done something like some of the airtime that is on some of these bigger, like at the track in Saskatchewan and that. How the heck does it feel when you're doing the backflip? What's going through your mind? Closed and
I got a video up there. I made a post. You can find it on my Facebook, and it talks about safety. And there's a Hans device. Have you ever heard that term? Right? It straps our helmet to our shoulders and our belts. And they're preset, the straps, for your safety. And they say you're allowed a certain amount of head movement. And in that video, it shows my head kissing the steering wheel like that. So I made a little post telling people, check your safety gear, look at it. You can go to ponds. They'll make you custom length straps. Don't use that stocks. That's meant for not what we're doing by no means, whether it's soundless.
Yeah. It's meant for circle track
when you're
racing
taking 10,000 pounds and driving the side of a sea can, what's exactly how you think it is, right?
It's got to be a heck of a rush driving that thing though, right?
Adrenaline definitely helps. Right? It's brain off, your ass on, and you're shaking from the moment you get in that truck to the moment you get out, you're shaking. It's not even funny. But
there's a nervousness that you get before and strapping in or getting in. But as soon as they either tell you get out there or the horn drops or whatever, everything just,
as soon as the truck goes in gear,
it just disappears. And then it's like tunnel vision, right? Like most people, and if you're a racer and any listeners you're listening, if you've raced in any sort of competition, you just get that tunnel vision and you're only focusing. And that's why a lot of guys, when you have a co-dog or somebody with you, they have to tell you to breathe, because some guys don't, you're just in it, right? And that's the beauty of this, and that you're so focused. And again, it doesn't matter what bills you have to pay or what's going on in your relationships, or like, this is why, another reason why we love this, because everything just disappears and you're out there, you're by yourself, or you're with your co-dog, somebody that's with you, and you're in that moment and nothing else matters. It's super cool.
Yeah. Nothing like it in the world, because I've done it all. Sleds, dirt. You sit down and have 2,500 horse or 2,000 horse behind you with 30 inches of shock, buddy. It's a time. You can't even explain it without doing it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Even just sitting there, that thing, when you're idling, you're shaking around a little bit.
Have you ever been around a blown alcohol methanol truck? It's not a truck you hear, it's a truck you feel.
Yeah.
And until you know it, you know it.
Exactly.
It's nothing like it.
Yeah. Kyle, your truck is different a little bit. Let's give the listeners a little rundown on your truck.
My truck, I'm just in the middle of switching trucks now. I just bought a chassis now.
Yeah.
So it's a Brig Fab chassis. So I used to run
until he wrecks it.
And that was the whole reason. So downhole money I've been running for it's a Toyota based. It was a 93 400 that I used to have before. And again, I've ran that for about 10 years now.
Yes.
And then just the evolution. This is the whole thing with this sport. It's just always evolving. Where I started with that truck with Toyota axles, and then it just evolved to the monster truck that you see it now. And you can go through the steps in either my Instagram and just see where it's come from and where it started from. Again, 40-inch tires and a 350 small block and with Toyota axles. And then you just kept on wrecking it. And then I went to 2.5 tons, and then I went to Meritors, hybrids. But anyway, so that the last step with downhole money is I put a big blower engine in it, a 540 pro-charged engine, and it amplified all the problems with it. And I ended up backflipping it not on purpose, down the hill at an obstacle course race at Mountain Havoc in Idaho. And again, nothing was wrong. The truck was fine. Everything's good. But I just realized the evolution of the sport is I'm limited to using a Toyota frame and then building a subframe and building off of that. And it just added weight. The truck is awesome, but just not to the competition I want to get to. So now I bought a Brig Fab, like it's 2014 or 15 Brig Fab chassis. And my calls from Blaze Mechanical on Off Road, Mike and Nikki, are going to be upgrading it. They're basically with the bigger tires, and the frame of it right now is not able to take 58-inch tires. So we're just upgrading and making it stronger, and then putting the big block in it wasn't meant for the big block. And then the heavy weight that I'm going to be and the big jumps that we're going to do. So basically, So now
freestyler now.
Yeah. So basically this big chassis that I got, the new chassis I got, the 540 Pro Chargers going in it. And then I got a Turbo 400 built by Ivar, a Kelowna transmission, ready for 1,500 horsepower. And then I put a Magnum box, like it's a 2-speed from Off Road Design. It's just a 2-speed bolted towards an SCS box. So I can literally change any gears. I got 3 sets of tires, so I can change my gearing to whatever I need for whatever type of racing I'm doing. Again, for this type of series, I got aluminum rims and lighter tires for the fast-paced stuff. I got the big balloon tires for their freestyle. And then I got there's just heavier tires for the obstacle course stuff, so I can change them. And then, I got Scott shocks going in, 20-inch Scott shocks with double bypasses. That's again for the freestyle thing. So excited about that. Yeah. Should be a lot of fun. It's again, all new, again, build, but I'm really excited about this.
So are you going to do an
Definitely
intentional
not.
backflip?
Definitely not. So everybody asks me that. It's funny. I don't know. It's like a thing.
It's mind over matter.
Yeah.
It's mind.
But so it's just not something that I progressed to. But there's a lot of guys in this field. I love going out and jumping it and getting some good airtime, and I'm in for that. But the backflip again, and if anyone's out there, any listeners are thinking about doing it, that's the whole thing. He made the post about the safety. Yeah, I got the horsepower and I got the truck, and it could do it. But what I want to do is have a long career in racing. I got so many more years of doing this, and my truck is not. Dustin designed Kill for that specific to take that punishment. He's got thicker tubing, and again, my truck will take it. He's got a monster truck seat, and I do have a good Kirky seat, but it's not as in depth as his. My Hans device is very good, not as good as his, because he veered everything for his to the monster truck and wanting to do this backflip. So he upgraded and spent way more money on all this. Again, I'm a trail wheeler as well as good. There's nothing wrong with my safety, but I'm not going to do a backflip. Yeah. It's something, but
do you have a little radio in the ear?
I do have headsets that we can talk to each other, and it's hard to talk to.
Like I say, it's made for different things, and yours might be better overall rig, whereas Dustin's is not, right? So it all depends what you're going for. There's another rig. I know, Kyle, that you went recently down to the States with another rig. You guys went down to SEMA, I believe, wasn't it?
So
or was it
me and Devin Villeneuve, we took Flyboy. Flyboy is one of the baddest trucks out there as well. And it's going to be super exciting to see Dustin and Devin hash it out. They really haven't had a good head-to-head race yet. And they're both, again, the time that they did meet and was there, the trucks it just didn't line up where they're running perfect against each other. So again, both trucks have a couple years on them, and it'll be very exciting again, especially
nothing's new no more.
Yeah.
Exactly. Got all the bugs.
But me and Devin went down, and a bunch of other people from his crew. We went down to do a Hoonigan show there's a tribute to Ken Block down in Las Vegas. It's called SEMA Fest. And so I met Travis Pastrana and Leah Block, his daughter and stuff. And what we did, Devin did a TV show with the Hoonigans. They went down to California and raced his truck, and
wicked episode.
Yeah. This first that. And then they called him back, and he just called me up on a Wednesday. Hey man, we're flying on Friday to Vegas. You want to come? And I was like, oh yeah.
So jealous.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool for a Canadian mega truck to be going down for the guys from Hoonigan to be calling up a Canadian mega truck. There's always some connections here and there and stuff like that, but still, it's just cool the fact that they can call anybody in the States. There's so many good, high quality mega trucks in the States, and they're calling up this guy from Canada, and that's a great tribute to what's evolving up here. It's obviously his truck is a kick-ass truck. There's just no doubt about it, right? Like it's a pretty wild truck, and I know that he didn't buy it all, right? Like he picked it up out of the States.
Alberta is the guy that built it originally. And he, again, beautiful build. And then Devin and Joel, his brother, did a little bit of upgrading to the 4-link. It was 3-linked in the back, and they changed that, and the steering wasn't right or whatever. Again, just time, because Bobby never drove it. I think he took it to Perkins once and jumped it once, and then just moved on in his life and sold it. And Dev went down, picked it up, and without the motor, then Dev put the motor in. Methadone was 1600, basically the same engine. Dustin it's got a 1471. He's got a screw blower in his, a little different mower. But and Devin's been just kicking ass with that. Just more and more events, more seat times he's getting into it. He's getting just so good behind the wheel and so comfortable behind. And that's the beauty of this again, because it's new to us. We're a little farther behind the States, and but we're all getting into this mega truck world. And then everybody's getting more and more through the years. Have got more seat time. Again, are limited to our seasons, right? The guys in the States, obviously, they can race you forward. No, that's right. we joke about this all the time is we wouldn't want to be in Florida because we couldn't afford to race all the time. We need a 6-month winter to recover from, or we wouldn't be married. That's right. Yeah. So that's a super cool truck that is out there, and super excited to have him in the series. And again, their event as well. So he'll have it out. If you go to their snow days coming up here, he'll obviously have that truck out there. And he's got another truck called Shredded Lettuce that is really good in obstacle course. His brother is the guy to beat. Joel Villeneuve has got a Rampage. It's same thing as the Willys kind of chassis. They're look good. And then it's just a full tube chassis that he built. But he's got his twin turbo 632 running 1200 horsepower on pump gas. And but he's the guy to beat, like in the obstacle course racing, the Havoc style racing. Joel is the guy that we're all headhunting because he's the number one guy. He's fast, super fast. So again, nice to have them come into the series because especially the Columbus snow wheelers, since they came into this racing and doing all this stuff, they were snow wheelers. And then they came in the race, but they've had so much seat time. And that's where this comes from. A lot of the guys, if you have so much your truck so well, they say you're not a master to something to get 5,000 hours or 5,000 hours doing something. And so you go wheeling for 8-12 hours a day. That's a whole year for us sometimes in racing, more than that. So one wheeling trip out there, you've learned more about your truck. So again, it's a tribute to them being that good at racing as well as out snow. So yeah, good to have them because I love competition. It's good to have these guys.
So if somebody decide, hey, I'm interested in this mega truck racing, but I don't know where to start. I guess first suggestion would be you come out to some events and talk to the guys, as well as just ask the questions and obviously hop on the Axlebusters Facebook group. But is there a less expensive way or a smaller way of getting your feet wet? I believe when I was talking to Darian from Piss and Broke, there was the small, what he called the small tire class, which was like 42s and under, 44s and under. Would that be a sort of a starting point if somebody wanted to sort of dip their toes into it?
Yes, of course. You could literally come to these and just start with a mud bog truck, straight line stuff. Jeep Cherokee. You don't have to, again, you could have it on leaf springs. If you come out, do this stuff, everything we're doing on leaf springs and 42-inch tall tires or whatever. It's, again, we don't, and it doesn't matter. We always say that too when we're at FRC. You could have a $5,000 truck or $100,000, $150,000 truck. It doesn't, you're the same person. We don't think we're any better than anybody else. And it doesn't, and we're just as approachable as when we used to just drive around in our $5,000 daily drivers wheeling in the back 40. It doesn't matter. That's the whole point of this community is that, and you want to get into this. We have a guy, Eric, up in Fort Mac 2 years ago. He had this basically stock Jeep and he came to Mudfest with us. And he didn't want to do anything besides the mud drag, straight mud drag. And we convinced him, I'll come to the obstacle course, go in the small tire class. And then what he's got now, he's got basically building a truck like Dustin's. He's got a blower motor and 2 years. 2 years. Usually this week's, but he doesn't have kids. He doesn't have a wife or, he doesn't have a bunch of bills. And he's just, you know what? First year, wrecked it, built it. He's a fabricator, welder, and he just turned this JK or I don't know, a Jeep. Anyway, some type of Jeep. Anyway, he just chopped it up and then put it into the big tire class. And then, so he went to big tire class and he said, you know what? I need a blower. And now he's trying to blow it.
Say 0 to 100 really quick.
Yeah, really quick. But on a tribute to that is Dustin, because you start putting this kind of height to where we are in the game. And you set this bar to where we're trying to get to. You have this guy to beat. And now Matt Watson, maybe he wouldn't got this far. If you're just people are chasing Dustin. And that's the coolest thing out there is that I want to try to beat him. And he's the guy to beat. And he loves it sort of thing. It's not even about the conversation. It doesn't matter. He did lose his truck. Corey's here, but he lost at Mudfest. He was the champ at Mudfest. And just by hair, but his tranny let go, right? Oh, he's hurt here. He's hurt. Your second place is up on the wall here. But Jeremy Hillier, he's got this beautiful square body. Itty bitty mega truck. He's from Kamloops, is it? Kamloops?
Oh my God. Put me on the spot here.
can't. I think it's Canada. No, it's Kamloops. Or is it Can?
I want to say Chilliwack.
Canada. Anyway, it's BC. I can't remember. I'm sorry, Jeremy. Anyway, but he's got the square body, same thing, 2,500 horsepower, beautiful truck. And he came around this J-hook, this finale, and Corey lost the tranny, and he came in, and it would have been just this photo finish coming across, and it was. But that's what happens. That's racing.
Anything could happen.
Yeah,
anything can happen.
Awesome.
So, Dustin, obviously your favorite track is going to be the Saskatchewan track. The truck's gone wild out there. Is that correct? Just because you're meant for more of the freestyle, or?
I want to do freestyle. It's what I like to do, but I like to race too. But when you go up to East Lake, Saskatchewan, you drive 16 hours. There's trucks coming in from the States. There's 3,000, 4,000 people there. It's do we wreck the truck racing and not be able to go do freestyle? So we always had this thing that we're going to save the truck.
Yeah.
Whatever's left after that, usually there's nothing. Usually it's getting hauled off by a loader. That's what I do. But we also love the race. Last year at Mudfest, that one of the best tracks, bank turns. It's fast. It's quick. It's massive tabletop, just as big as anything Al builds. And we really like doing that too. Unfortunately.
And that's an interesting event too, because they've got a variety of other stuff going on. There's bull riding, there's mud drags, there's, I think, a baseball tournament. Everywhere you look, there's something happening at that event up in Cold Lake.
Yeah, so I've been involved with Mudfest since 2016. It was, what a Billy Joe Asen. I think you're going to have her on when you talk to her. And she's just a beauty and a marketing queen. And this coming up with the Cold Lake, moving to Cold Lake. What a great idea that was, and the best thing for Mudfest itself. And again, like I said, just the concerts. This is Canada's largest mud and music fest. There's no other. There's obviously big festivals, but not with the motorsports side of things. And we're the largest one in Canada, and it's so much fun. And the place that we got, and then the new place that we're looking at in Dawson Creek. I can't wait to just put this out on the internet and show everybody. We went down and took a look at the site, but the Mudfest grounds, it's such a great where we built it because no one else was doing it. We built it in the side of a hill, the bank turns. So that's
an opera theater.
Yeah.
The way it sends them through the town.
Wild. Yeah. And that's another fun thing is it's right in town too, like literally right in the town. So we've driven our trucks to the gas station. You know what I mean? It's scary.
You did mention something too that I totally forgot about is the whole concert side of it too. I believe the Sheepdogs are coming this year. And there's some other good bands too. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's going to be a hell of an event.
Yeah. And that's the thing with Billy. She's the country rock, the concert side of things. She's huge on that side and really good promoting that. And she brings that's her event. It's a family owned business. It's not this big, huge thing. It's a very small company, but she's just such a passion for it. She's had it. This is the 10th year. This will probably be the 11th year that she's had it. And she's just, again, like you said, you'll have a great time talking with her. She's a great person and have had a lot of fun through the years and a great person to work for. Again, give us free reign to do whatever we wanted for the course wise. I couldn't do it without all the help of the guys helping me out there. Nick Sparks and Matt Livernosh and Chris Hansen. There's a bunch of guys that live in Cold Lake that help us out huge with making that course what it is. And I couldn't do it without, again, this is that Axlebusters saying you can't do it alone.
Yeah, it's definitely an event like that. It just takes so many good people behind it to make it work. Or any of these events, whether it be Rimby and like you say, you guys just show up there, but it's the same idea. It's still people on that group of people that are working hard to make those events happen. So a lot of people don't realize how hard it is to put on an event of good caliber event. And I've done it before, so I know it's
well, you go to Mudfest and try to talk to him when he's running it. And he bye.
Yeah. I love that. I love being a part of it. But one of my favorite events for sure is FRCC, because with Al Benisaki's event, Filthy Redneck Country Club, is that there is basically the rules are written on basically a bubblegum wrapper. Don't fight. Don't fight and no glass. Be good to people. And that's it. And we never see fights. You never see fights.
That's
you never
awesome.
see glass, and we're all having a good time. And that's the thing is it's such a great aspect. But that's the thing with Saskatchewan. You can have events like that. It's just so difficult to have something like that in Alberta or BC because he's got public land. It's his land, and the insurance is just a little different. But again, the Mudfest, what I love about Mudfest in Cold Lake and that side of things is the concerts and just being able to, obviously I'm working there majority of the time and being involved in the background, but just being able to go race their trucks and have that adrenaline rush and then go get a beer and then watch some concerts of some like super good music. It's a nice change.
You could bring your family to that event and actually enjoy the weekend, right? FRCC, I always make the joke, no, we're leaving the kids at home for that.
Yeah. FRCC is the big party, and that's
where I can go to be a kid, right?
So you'll let FRCC and then Mudfest and that sort of thing. But again, the Rimby's a family event as well. Same thing with Wembley. Most of these are big family events, and I'm not saying that you can
bring castles, cotton candy, everything for the kids. They're great.
A little bit off topic, but it sounds like mega truck racing is starting to come alive a bit in Ontario.
Yeah, I hear that.
I've heard there's a few races happening over there, a few events happening over there. So good to see it spreading over.
Just call this the Western Mega Truck Series, not just. I'll just say the baddest guys in the West, and then I don't know who's in the East. Who's the baddest guy out there? I don't know if maybe you want to meet halfway, East versus West.
Yeah. As you say, we can meet at Al's place.
Even Manitoba, I think Manitoba would be even. But and then
and there's nothing like that in Manitoba, so it would definitely get some interest. So
there's definitely land there, and I know that we could use. There's a park there that would be anyway. Who knows what will happen? Who knows what in the future? But there's definitely I know there's bad trucks in the East, and I feel like it's an evolution of these trucks, and people are just getting faster, and we're all just we're just fighting for that top spot. We're all competitive, right? It's a big, huge family. And again, like you were talking before about having the competition, it's hard. Some places, some sports, you lose it. But again, it doesn't matter how much bigger we get. It's the camp. It's the same. The family feel and the cooking and everything we have. It's just
everybody's welcome always. And there's no secrets.
Yeah,
no secret.
That's a great.
I've seen guys take parts off their truck to go get another truck running where there's a lot of racing out there that are like, go somewhere straight.
Yeah, that's something that I've noticed in the off-road circles that I've been in with. I do love that about the off-road community. It hasn't gotten so big that it's become this huge corporate thing, right? So where it's all about the money and all about the wins. And that's one thing about the whole off-road industry all across Canada. They're still humble enough to be friends with everybody that we race with. Right?
Yeah.
You don't always have the humbleness in other sports.
I feel like that'll always, it doesn't matter where we get. And even if the bigger races in the States and stuff, I'm sure that there's some of that animosity, whatever. But again, because we're Canadian, maybe that's a thing. I'm not sure. But I just don't see anything ever changing in this style of racing from us going again, just off-road, just wheeling out in the back 40 to us racing for $10,000. It's the camaraderie and we all want to beat the person at their best. We don't want to beat them out of a technicality because you blew a tire or something happened where you can't get the truck started. So you need a distributor or something along those lines. If somebody has a spare part, you're going to get it.
So let's be honest. I think a lot of it is because you guys are still kids at heart.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, come on. We grew up watching these monster trucks and you guys are doing it now with your air quote monster trucks. And it's really neat seeing your kids going to these events. And I think we've all still got a bit of a kid at heart with us. So that's why we enjoy it so much.
Yeah. That's the whole point of this. Again, we talk about this all the time. This is for the kids. It's for the fans, right? We were kids watching, again, Dennis Anderson's and watching them like monster truck shows or smaller shows. It doesn't matter. I was in awe of that. And thinking back to when I was 10, 12 years old, oh man, I just love to have a monster truck. Never, ever thinking that it'd ever be a reality. And we literally own them. Like, I get it that it's not, but I'm cool with Uncle Kyle with the monster truck. I don't have kids. We put those big 58s on there. It doesn't matter. And have just as much fun driving kids around after the event in the truck in circles, just with the 4-wheel steer. They just love this stuff. Like this summer, I'm actually taking my truck to Souris, Manitoba. My niece is graduating. And it's like 35 people, I think, in our graduating class. And I get to drive, I take a parade, go on the parade with my mega truck and drive her right to the ceremonies. And she's going to hop out. I'm so just as excited about that as I am about FRCC and Mudfest. You know what I mean? Because I know how, and she's telling all her friends, she's 18 years old and just Uncle Kyle with his monster truck is telling to drop me off. I can't wait. So yeah.
That is awesome. I used to be involved with a monster truck and ride truck in Ontario, and taking the kids on the ride trucks was just, seeing their excitement, and they're just vibrating. They're so excited to be on a monster truck. And it's pretty cool. It is definitely a big part of it for a lot of people. I know, and having said that, if our listeners are going to one of these events and you've got kids, I think I can speak for you guys and saying that feel free to come by the pits after and bring the kids through and check out these trucks up close. And I think pretty much everybody at these events, we all love kids and love to show the kids and the adult kids. As well,
again, we love that too. Talking about our trucks it doesn't matter. Anybody that owns a truck or a mega truck, come on. Everybody wants to talk about their truck. So somebody else comes up to us and or else pick up a wrench because we're probably working on a truck. If you're any good, come see us because we're going to need some help. You know what I mean? Corey, change it on another transmission pretty quick.
So Dustin, let's talk about that Jeep behind you. Yeah, we haven't really talked about that. You've got the Kill mega truck, which is bright orange, Willys bodied truck. And you have just built a Jeep for your wife.
That's right. Yeah. I started out 16, trail weed in the bush, right? Having odd drink, fires. And that was super fun. It went from 33s to 35s to 40s to 44s, 1 tons walkers, chrome ollies, next time 2.5 tons. It snowballed so fast. And before you blink, you're only going to events now and you miss that. I miss having a fire down with the river. Yeah. Just something to do on a Sunday. So we bought the 4-door. I said, we'll buy anything with 4 doors with no rust because then it's worth putting money into. And just to get the kids out, the family stuff, and boy, did that ever snowball. It's a Valerie rig. It got the 1 ton swap. It got the 4-link. And then it got an LS swap with a 4L80E. And then twin turboed that. And just... Prairie Crane got on board with us. They're our biggest sponsor, and Trek Prairie Crane. And they said, hey, here's some orange. They threw us a bunch of orange paint and it just went from there, right? And this thing's going to work. I'm telling you right now. Yeah, it's going to break some hearts. We got some rivalries, like in-house rivalries with some really good, we're just all family. One of my best friends, Tyler Thung. What's super cool is that we've all started building these new trucks at the same time in this evolution. Tyler had a bad wreck this year at first CC and folded his diff and then rolled his truck over. But again, safety system, he was completely fine because he's wearing a head and neck device, and it goes to show he has an ACAB video, real good footage. And man, he just, again, could have been way worse. And him and his co-dog did extremely well for such a bad crash. But he's rebuilding a new truck with him, and a few guys are with, again, the same thing, 4-wheel steer, Super 60s, and it's going to be a weapon. He's got twin turbos coming in, a piece of Ford guy. Again, but his is going to be super light and fat, but that's the thing. So now we have these 2 rigs coming out at the same time. So they're like doing this banter back and stuff. I love it.
That's what makes it fun though, right? If you can't shit talk your friends, once you beat your wife, you can come up against me.
But he almost had Dustin. He almost had him. He didn't have a strong.
But I mean, if you can't do a little bit of shit talking amongst friends, it's all good, right?
It takes the fun out of it. It's like I said, between the family though, like you said, it's just ball busting between friends. And then really when it comes down to it, we want to see everybody succeed, right? But of course you're going to just You can't let them give the props all the time. You can't do that. You got to bust ball, right?
Online, it might look like we're bickering and fighting and rapping. Best of friends.
Yeah. This is when you're working in the garage with a bunch of buddies. It's just, you're still abusing each other and shit talking each other. And it is what it is, right? It's a guy's thing.
I can't wait to the first race. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of new trucks. Again, the vast variety. There's a couple guys. Jeremy's building a new truck. There's a whole bunch of new trucks coming out this year. There's a whole bunch of new mega trucks. And it'll be a real fun year to come out and check us out.
So once again, we're talking with Kyle Walton and Dustin Stacey from the Axlebusters 4x4 Club out of Alberta. But as you've heard, there's a whole bunch of events running in BC, Alberta, and Saskatchewan. And I just thought of this, but imagine you guys might see some of those Idaho guys coming up to race in the series.
We go down all the time to Bonners to race down there with the Mountain Mafia Entertainment guys. And then again, the whole crew of guys. That's one of the top events that we have in the States for our style of trucks in June. It's called Mountain Havoc. Yeah. And you have to win your spot in one of the qualifying, and Mudfest is a qualifier for it. And again, Thunder Mountain will probably be a qualifier once they get up and running. But again, we're pushing towards getting those guys to come up here, right, to race. And then again, the Mega Truck Series, again, putting money on the table. And again, that's another push to try to get people to travel around. Yeah.
So that's just a little nudge that some people need to come see what it's about.
That's right.
Then the next year, money's not even an issue. They're just coming for the good time.
That's right.
The one last question we ask every guest on the 4x4 Canada podcast is, what Canadian would you like to listen to on the podcast?
And in the mega truck world, there's a few, but I just took a marketing course. Aaron Fraser, I don't know if you've heard of him before. He's from Kelowna, BC. I just took his marketing course. It's basically like off-road enthusiast. If you want to try to take your sport, and that's what I'm trying to do, is use this sport. I'm not a professional athlete, but you can try to use marketing, and he has a course to help you. It's called Action Sports Club, to take the off-road enthusiast or any sort of snowboard or anything like that, extreme sports, and try to make a business out of it and try to help you get sponsorships. And he's got the sponsorship package and a whole played out course for about 12 weeks. And again, definitely props to him. I just finished his course and I learned a bunch of stuff that I really was excelling me in social media, as well as like how to talk to companies for sponsorships. And it's not even, you shouldn't even use a sponsorship. It's a win because it's a partnership, right?
Relationship.
And then, again, something that I've been, that I myself have been lacking. And it was just nice to have someone to talk to and someone to help me progress and the side of things again, where that's what we're all trying to do. It's not trying to do this and get paid, but why wouldn't it be nice? I'm doing it for the love of it. But if there's a way for us to turn this into a business and to get some type of income in from this, and Aaron was suggest the hit.
That'd be really interesting, because should get a shout out to him as well too, because there's a lot of people, whether it be in the racing or whether it be in the YouTube world or whatever, that could work with somebody like that.
Yeah, and we have a lot of good information from this course, and I definitely would recommend it. And that's definitely helped me grow my social media, as well as getting monetized on social media.
How about you, Dustin?
You go back a little bit. You said a lot of people want to know, how do I get in this? How do I get my feet wet? What direction do I go? Because unless you're raising the stuff or your best buddy does it, you're just like, where do I start? You want YouTube. But there's one fellow, without a doubt, has probably influenced more drivers. His name's Josh Darling. He's an older gentleman and he's forgotten more than I know. Mm-hmm. Both his kids race. He's the brains behind the operations, and anyone that's getting into it and they ask me questions, I just say, go talk to Josh. He'll talk to you for 4 hours on the phone. Your phone dead. Like I said, he's forgotten more than I know. He'll help you save money. He'll tell you the direction to go with combos work. That's a waste. I've been down there. He's blowing up more engines than I've seen. And that comes with knowledge and experience, right? He's the guy, I'm telling you, right? Huge part of it. His wife is, he helped me out so many times, hours and hours talking to him with issues, engine issues, transmission issues, suspension issues, he's worked his gold of knowledge. Yeah.
I definitely want to talk to him for sure. So, and that's one of the reasons we ask this question at the end of each interview, is because there's so many people that I don't know, or Trisha, my co-host, doesn't know. And some of the suggestions that we've had, like the two that you mentioned, are people that we've never heard before, but we think you guys obviously think they'd be good people to talk to.
You could probably operate a carburetor better than an iPhone.
So some of these, I want to do some interviews in person. So I am gathering the gear to do interviews in person. So maybe I might have to make a trip out there, right?
Basically, any of the events that we just mentioned, the event holders like Billy Joy, Alberta and Saskatchewan, you know what I mean? The Villeneuve brothers, of course, these guys in the Kelowna, close to you, those guys are the vast knowledge that family has in the BC area and in wheeling and snow wheeling and like, again, super knowledgeable in off-roading. And there's a lot of guys that have great fabrication skills. If you wanted to get into that side of things, Jared is another one. Check Fab, like in Kelowna, these guys there's so many genre of racing that it's very broad. Yeah. And everyone specializes in their own little niche too. So couple questions, couple of phone calls, and you'll find the guy.
Yeah. We'll reach out if I need some help getting hold of some of these people for sure. Because it's one thing with doing this podcast is it's such a broad genre. We've got everything from the mega trucks to the YouTube people, to the overlanders, to the mud drags or the wheel to wheel people or the Baja people. And they always keep on saying niche down, but I think a lot of our listeners we're all 4x4 enthusiasts at heart. So a lot of our listeners enjoy hearing about different things, right? So and you find a lot of people that may be an overlander, but they still enjoy going to events like yours and watching those events, right?
I actually just want to say thank you for you. It takes a lot of time and effort to do this. Doing a podcast, this is not easy. And I just want to say thanks for giving us this opportunity to come on here and
it's no problem. I love doing it. So it's a passion project right now. And it's the same thing as you guys. It's a passion project with what you guys do, right? It takes up time and money, but it keeps me out of the bars and stuff like that, right? But no, I do appreciate it. It does take a lot of work. And I am sad that Trisha could not talk with you guys tonight. I know that she is a mud person and she is a speed person. So she's upset that she couldn't make it. She ended up having to work. It's understandable.
Sometime soon in the near future. So I wouldn't worry about it. We'll have lots of conversations. Yeah. And it's not saying that being said, it's not saying that we can't do it again another time.
Yep. Exactly. Awesome, guys. I really want to thank you guys for taking the time coming out. I know that you guys were working hard today and I was hardly working.
I'm on the clock right now.